I need to tell you something that's been bothering me for a long time. And if you're in your 20s right now, there's a high chance you're going to relate to this. I'm 24 years old. I work as a software engineer, and on paper, I make what most people would call really good money. The kind of money that guidance counselors and society tell you is success. But here's the truth. Despite doing everything right, I'm not thriving. I'm just surviving. And that realization hit me hard. Because if someone like me, who followed the exact blueprint, is barely staying ahead, then something is seriously broken. I did everything I was supposed to do. I worked minimum wage jobs for years, paid my way through school, avoided student debt, learned valuable skills, and landed a high-paying job. On paper, I won. This is the dream we're sold growing up. Study hard, get a degree, get a good job, and life will take care of itself. But what nobody tells you is that the system behind that dream has completely changed. My income sounds great until real life kicks in. Taxes take a huge cut. Then you add rent, groceries, transportation, and just basic living expenses. Suddenly that great salary doesn't feel so great anymore. I live with roommates just to make things work. I'm not living some luxury lifestyle. I'm not buying expensive things. I'm just stable. And honestly, that's the scary part. Because this is what success looks like now. And it gets worse when you look at what most people my age are dealing with. My girlfriend, for example, did everything right too. She got her degree, built her skills, and graduated ready to work. But she stepped into one of the worst job markets in years. Companies are laying people off, freezing hiring, and replacing entry-level roles with automation and outsourcing. She sent out hundreds of applications, rewritten her resume over and over again. And most of the time, she doesn't even get a response. Not a rejection, just silence. So now she's working jobs she completely overqualified for just to pay the bills while she keeps trying to break into her field. And here's what makes this even more frustrating. It's not her fault. This isn't about effort or intelligence. This is about timing. An entire generation is graduating into an economy that simply doesn't have space for them. And when you really start looking at the numbers, it becomes obvious that the system itself is broken. College tuition has skyrocketed over the last couple of decades, but salaries haven't kept up when you adjust for inflation. That means people are paying more than ever for education, just to earn the same or even less in real terms. Most graduates are starting their lives already in debt, chasing jobs that are harder to get and don't pay enough to justify the cost. If this were any other investment, people would call it a terrible deal. But because it's education, we've normalized it. Then there's healthcare. In the US, your health is tied to your job. That means your ability to take risks, start something new, or even leave a toxic work environment is limited by one thing: insurance. If you lose your job, you don't just lose income. You lose access to affordable healthcare. And for many people, that's not a risk they can take. So they stay stuck. Not because they want to, but because they have to. That's not freedom. That's dependency disguised as stability. And when you zoom out even more, you start to see how expensive it is just to exist. Housing is expensive. Transportation is expensive. Starting a family is becoming a luxury instead of a normal life step. People are delaying having kids or choosing not to at all. Not because they don't want to, but because they literally can't afford to. So what do people do? They pick up side hustles. They work extra hours. They try to create multiple streams of income just to stay afloat. But even that comes with no security, no benefits, no guarantees. You're constantly working, constantly grinding, but it still feels like you're not getting ahead. And at some point I had to ask myself a serious question. What if the problem isn't me? What if the problem is the game I'm trying to play?
Because the rules that worked 20 or 30 years ago don't work anymore. The economy has changed. Technology has changed. Opportunities have changed. But we're still being told to follow the same outdated path. And that's when I realized something that completely shifted my perspective. The goal isn't to work harder in a broken system. The goal is to step back and rethink the entire strategy.
One of the biggest advantages we have today is something previous generations didn't. The ability to work remotely and think globally. If you can earn in a strong economy like the US, but live somewhere with a lower cost of living, everything changes. Your money stretches further. Your stress goes down. Your options increase. There are entire countries where you can live comfortably for a fraction of what it costs in major American cities. Places with good infrastructure, modern lifestyles, and a high quality of life, without the constant financial pressure. This isn't about running away or giving up. It's about being strategic. It's about understanding reality and adapting to it instead of blindly following a path that no longer works. And if you're serious about creating a different life, it starts with a few simple shifts. Build skills that aren't tied to a location. Learn how to manage your money and live below your means. Invest consistently so your future isn't dependent on a single paycheck. And most importantly, stop limiting your thinking to one country, one system, or one way of living. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about complaining. It's about awareness. Gen Z isn't lazy. We're not entitled. We're just the first generation that's fully experiencing how broken the system has become. And that might actually be our biggest advantage. Because once you see the truth, you stop playing by rules that don't make sense. You start thinking differently. You start building differently. So the real question is, are you going to keep playing a game that's designed for you to struggle? Or are you going to step back, rethink everything, and create your own path? Because the system might be broken, but your future doesn't have to be. Subscribe to this channel